cut, Casper. That's a wrap.
Scream 7 has wrapped production at the same time as the new I Know What You Did Last Summer flick. What a coinky dink. Now let's get into it. Hey everybody, I'm KillJoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. According to Production Weekly, Scream 7 has officially wrapped principal photography. Let's go, baby! In today's video, I want to reflect on some of the biggest Scream 7 updates we've had, a big update that just came at the tail end of this production, and also talking about what I think of this film thus far. So first up is an interesting new interview with Jack Quaid, who of course played our lead Ghostface, Richie Kirsch, in Scream 2022. During the premiere of his new film Novocaine, Jack Quaid was asked by E.T. if he would appear in the next Scream film or not. No, I'm not talking about that cute little alien who appears to have nutsacks for skin. I'm talking about Entertainment Tonight. Quaid responded to that question by saying this.
I don't know for sure yet. I don't know. I will keep my mouth closed on that one.
Very sus, Jack. Not very demure. At this point, I wouldn't be shocked if all the ghost faces were coming back, considering some of the casting announcements we've had in the last couple of months. Like, is this new ghost face here in Scream 7 going to emulate the voices of literally every ghost face using AI in this new flick to torment Sydney? Or does that not really make any sense? I mean, Sydney wasn't even there for one of the ghost face attacks. That is one of the leading theories regarding all these strange casting announcements after all. For Sydney, I think it makes more sense to use Amber's voice, considering that she was the one who killed Dewey. That's why, at least I think, the third act of Scream 2022 focused on Gail and Sydney killing Amber with fire. That was good old-fashioned revenge, baby. Amber's voice might be terrifying to Sydney's, but definitely not Richie's. I mean, she was kicking the shit out of his punk ass at one point. And let's not forget, Sydney literally shot the guy before he revealed himself as Ghostface. That's how much of a bitch Richie is. I can't complain about more Jack Quaid in my Scream film, though. He's just too damn cute. I also think he's one of the best parts of that fifth entry. Now, if Amber Midthunder, his co-star in Novocaine, could star in a new Scream film, maybe Scream 8 as the next Ghostface, I will definitely be happy. Speaking of Scream 7's cast, though, here's the full list of confirmed people coming back for this next one. That is, of course, Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, Mason Gooding, Jasmine Savoy Brown, Isabel May, Celeste O'Connor, Asa German, McKenna Grace, Sam Reckner, Anna Camp, Ethan Embry, Mark Consuelos, Joel McHale, Matthew Lillard, Scott Foley, Michelle Randolph, and Jimmy Tatro. That doesn't even include some of the actors we've spotted in set photos, like Mr. Victor Turpin. This is a mega cast for a new Scream film, which definitely has me scratching my head for a number of reasons. First of all, I loved Scream 6, but one of the big things I said after seeing that movie was that I'd love for Scream 7 to have a smaller cast, because I felt the previous movie was a touch overstuffed. There were a lot of characters in that last movie, some who hardly even served a purpose. Take Danny Brackett, for instance, cute boy next door. I mean, sure, he had that really cool scene with the ladder, but like, what, he was just a red herring who didn't even get a kill scene in that movie? I mean, come on. And also not to mention the shoehorned legacy characters who barely served a purpose, besides, I guess, finding the ghost faces from the opening scene's lair. Gail's chase scene was really cool and definitely a highlight of Scream 6 as well, but like, was there a point to seeing that? Not really. There is absolutely room for Scream 7 to improve over its predecessor, and one of the big things is actually killing the majority of its cast members, which there are many here. I'm hoping that Scream 7 can have the most bloodshed of any Scream film to date, otherwise we have a massive and glaring problem here. Why even make a slasher film if you're going to have more survivors than people who died? An overstuffed story isn't the only issue I have with the casting, as I am just not a fan of Joel McHale playing Sydney's husband. The role of Mark Evans, originally Mark Kincaid from Scream 3, was intended to be played by Patrick Dempsey. This was given to Joel McHale after Dempsey turned it down due to a scheduling conflict. I don't know why, but some people want to deny that this was really happening despite there being so much evidence of it out there. There are multiple interviews with Patrick Dempsey saying that he was in talks to be in this film but couldn't because his house literally burned down, and it was also referenced in the Scream films already in Scream 2022 when Sydney was talking about her husband, Mark. The directors of that film, Tyler Gillette and Matt Bettinelli-Olpin, even confirmed in an interview after the film's release that yes, Mark Kincaid is Sidney Prescott's husband. That has now been retconned. I'm not sure why people hate the very inoffensive character of Mark Kincaid so much, but that was absolutely the intention moving forward with the new Sidney story, which has now been altered. Joel McHale was not the first choice for the role, and that is pretty evident. I think this will severely hinder the film, as Joel McHale is best known for his douchey characters from movies and TV shows such as The Bear, Ted, and Community.
Sorry if I'm interrupting any private girl talk about Channing Tatum's index finger, but Lori, I need to see you in my office.
He's such an asshole.
I just don't think the guy is a good match for Sidney Prescott, the world's most insecure final girl of all time. I just don't see any chemistry being there between these two actors, even though I do love them both in their own respective roles that they play so well. I fear this is a severe miscast, and hopefully Scream 7 will focus on Sidney's relationship with her daughter more than her relationship with her husband. There are a lot of positives with this cast, however. I love Sidney's daughter being played by Isabel May. The resemblance between these two actresses is uncanny. I think May will prove to be a new star in this series, hopefully with this flick, and I could totally see her teaming up with the core four at some point. Speaking of which, Chad and Mindy are also reprising their roles here in Scream 7 to rep the 5th and 6th installments. I'm sure they're going to have some great moments together here, just like in the last two movies. I'm really interested to see Sidney Prescott go through a different arc here, serving as a mother figure opposed to just kind of defending herself and her own life. Maybe they're able to tread some new ground with this age-old character. And one of the biggest things I'm hoping to see from the legacy characters here in Scream 7 is not to just shoehorn Gale Weathers into the story for absolutely no reason again. There better be a point to her traveling all the way out to Pine Grove, Indiana, besides just covering the new Ghostface story. We really need to stop doing loops with her character arc, man. My favorite thing about Scream 7 so far is the rumor that the flick will touch on AI and deepfake technology, and how it's a threat to the entertainment industry. To actually hit on a really heavy topic like that could bring some sophistication back to the Scream franchise, which admittedly was absent from the radio silence era. There's nothing wrong with that, and I had a great time with the last two movies. But I think the original run of Scream was brimming with commentary not just on horror movies, but also how the world was reacting to them at the time. So many parents were blaming the movies for the violent actions of their kids, and unfortunately that is still a talking point here in 2025. Hopefully Scream can get its attitude back with this new entry. The absolute biggest thing for me though is that as long as Scream 7 doesn't focus too much on its egregious cameos, which it will definitely have after some of these casting announcements, I think this film is going to be fine. It might even achieve its 90s feel again, which I know so many fans are clamoring for. It's definitely going for that ever since Neve Campbell announced her return as Sidney Prescott via Instagram, and franchise creator Kevin Williamson directing the new installment. If Scream 7 really wants to hit those same strides, it has to bring the bite back to this series. We have to touch on some topics that may offend some people, just like those original movies. You know how many moms were pissed in the late 90s that they were making horror films directed towards a younger audience? We need to bring that back for Scream 7. They have to do more than just putting the focus back on Sidney Prescott. That's not going to magically repair the series and make it feel like how it used to. We need a poignant story with our main characters that has a little spice to it. A massive middle finger to the tech bros who want to ruin the film industry with their stupid AI software would probably be the best way to give Scream its razor-sharp edge again. I'm praying that that's a focus of this movie, but I am a little worried that this could be nostalgia boot soup. That version of this movie is something I'll likely forget about on the car ride home. Here's hoping that Scream 7 is more than just Scream Endgame, but we'll find out on February 27th of 2026. Please don't let this suck, Kevin. Now that Scream 7 is wrapped, I think I'm gonna focus my coverage for the next couple of months on Final Destination Bloodlines. I'm gonna kick this off by doing some deep dive videos into the 5 Final Destination movies we already have, which I've never formally reviewed on this page. You'll see the first video in that review series next week, as well as a big countdown stream to Final Destination Bloodlines starting next Friday, March 21st. Be there or be square. Hey everybody, before we wrap up today's video, please make sure to subscribe to this channel for more horror movie updates just like this. I'd love to hit my goal of 40,000 subs this year, so please subscribe if you haven't already. Also, check out my gaming channel, GullGotha, for some goofy gaming streams and videos. Thank you to everyone who supports both of my channels. How do you guys feel about Scream 7 now that the film has wrapped? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all again for watching, please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.